Work. Hey guys, so welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you're one of my regulars. Today, the topic du jour is actually Myers-Briggs personality based, which many of you are here because of that, so wonderful. And if you're not, I'll try to fill you in on the bits and pieces so that it all coalesces and makes perfect sense. I have a theory. I have several theories with personality typology. But the one I want to talk about today is called either the rise of the NF or the golden era of the NF. So, oh gosh, I just did some vocal fry, like NF. Whew, I gotta breathe. I'm like out of breath. I get a little nervous. I turn on the camera. I was like, okay, I'm on now. There's no stopping this train. It's just a one-way track there. So NF, these are the idealists in Myers-Briggs. They could be the ENFJ, the ENFP, the INFP, or the INFJ. So essentially, they are intuitive, which means they're dreamers, they're idealists, they look at the big picture, they like ideas instead of minutia and details, which is minutia. They are just enjoy creativity and being in that space that's like between worlds, between earth and like spirituality. I feel like they'd rather be in the spiritual realm if we could be. I say they, I'm an NF. So there's that part, that's the N piece. And the F part is the feeler part. That means that in general, not always, NFs prefer to move through the world valuing their feelings. They make judgments based on their feelings instead of logic. So we might feel a certain way and our emotions, and that will sway us more than, say, a thinker would, where they would just sort of see things in a very logical fashion. So putting that together, you get an idealist who is in tune with their emotions. So essentially, the hippie. That's sort of the NF archetype, right? The hippie. So we had a golden era in the 60s, hence my Woodstock poster. Oh, there we go. Like, not my dining room table, right there. 3 days of peace and music. That's all we want. We want peace and love and harmony, and hey, maybe some music, some art too would be wonderful. So I believe the 60s was a golden era for the NF because it was all about trying to establish peace and love and harmony, although, it was a rough go there. I think it was, of course, there's always that contrast, right? So if you've got the war, you're going to, of course, have a rising of peace. And so there's that dichotomy, and we're seeing it again now. So I believe, my theory, of course, that this time that we're living in, that's so unpredictable, that's just so crazy, that there's just so much going on in the physical world that doesn't even make logical sense, that it only makes sense that it would be time for us NFs to step fully into our power, because we are very, very powerful. Believe it or not, you NFs. Even my more introverted ones that are thinking, no, not me, really, are you sure? Yes, especially you. You just haven't even really probably tapped into half of what you're capable of. Excuse me, but I feel like we come with these special gifts, and not saying that other types aren't special. They're all special in their own ways, and they're all unique and have their own strengths, but I'm just focusing right now on the NFs and what we have to offer, and that maybe it is our time finally once and for all. Because I feel like for a lot of us growing up, we felt like weirdos or outsiders because we were more in tune with things that people couldn't see, or we had our head in the clouds, or we're very sensitive, and people say, oh, you're too sensitive. And that's not the case. We're just really in tune with what's going on that can't be seen, okay? And so I think this is the perfect opportunity for NFs, idealists, those of you who are very spiritual and in tune with who you are and humanity as a whole, to be entrepreneurs, to create revolutions and changes for good, for humanity, to create art that inspires and catalyzes change. I really think this is the time, because I think people are realizing that the 3D world, that the physical, that they can touch, taste, see, and hear, and see. Did I catch all 5? I hope I did. That it's not all what it seems, and that there's more to it. And it's like, okay, well, people are looking like for answers and looking around like, well, who knows what's going on? Well, hey, the NFs, if anything, I feel like we've been sort of crying out for a long time about things to come, and here we are, and we're gonna have to step up into leadership positions, I do believe, so that we can create this earth of love and bliss and harmony, because it needs that NF warmth, that touch, that nuance that only we can give in our own way. And this is the perfect time. It's almost like they say light shines brightest in the dark, or stars shine brightly in the dark, something like that. I don't know. My yoga teacher told me that one time because I was going through it, and she's like, well, stars do shine brightest in the dark. And I was like, oh, she's calling me a star. I felt so special and so loved. And she's an NF too. We have healing powers. Mine even come through the camera. I've heard several people tell me that just watching me is soothing for them, healing for them, inspiring for them, whatever. It all boils down to me being a healer. And thank God I can send it through this camera, my phone, to you, because that's why I do what I do. I feel like that's why I'm here. That's my purpose, like to help heal people and humanity in general as best I can, even if it's just like a little slither of humanity. That's my pebble ripple effect. And same with the NFs and other types as well. But really, NFs usually are the healers. They're the ones you'll see doing like probably things like Reiki and going on these spiritual retreats and really for trying to find themselves and help others, and probably join the Peace Corps. That's just probably, it's all stereotype, but it's true. We just want to heal ourselves and each other, because we realize that a healed world, a healed society is a happier, healthier world and society. Because if anyone's suffering, we're all suffering. We're all connected. And if anything, this whole pandemic should have taught us that we can't get away from each other. Even if we want to be an island, sometimes I want to be an island. Trust me, every man wants to be an island at one time or another, I'm sure. But no man is an island. And so, because we're so hyper aware of that as NFs, I don't know what that is. We were just brought to earth that way, I do believe. We have a really deep compassion to help humanity, to help our fellow man, because it's that ripple effect that will make living here in this reality so much better. And who doesn't want that? Because if you look around at some of the systems and the way things are going, it's not great. It's really not great. And there's a lot that could be overhauled and changed. I'm not talking politics or anything, because I'm like somebody that doesn't even go there. I'm just talking in general, like just every day, the way that we do things and interact as humans, and the way, we have our school system set up, and just different things set up, the way we get our news and things. It's a hot mess. And so I think I think little by little, if we as NFs can get in these industries and bring the light and bring the change and help it to bloom and blossom, instead of watching it now, it feels like things are decaying and going into darkness. So it's time. It is time for all of you INFPs, INFJs, ENFPs, and ENFJs to rise up in your full power. And I know it's scary. It's a weird time. It's like, well, gosh, of all the times, this is the time we got to step in our little superhero Avenger time. Like, you always imagine in your mind, if you had this big moment to help save the world, it would be, I don't know, not quite so dreadful out in the world. But of course, that's when the world needs you the most. I'm not saying get a savior complex, because I know sometimes that can happen too. But I am saying that every little bit matters. It doesn't even have to be going out and having millions of followers and being famous or anything. No, it can just be your little piece of the pie, your little slice of heaven on earth, wherever you live. Being kind to your neighbor, doing something thoughtful, little gestures, smiling, being the light that you are. Little NFs and everybody, really, truly. I think the more of us that can pop like popcorn and actually come alive and radiate and shine light, the more the lights, kind of like when you see, sometimes they'll show the image of Earth and it's nighttime and you see all the lights and you see, wow, when there's so many lights that are on at the same time, it just really illuminates everything. And then you can see the outline of a state sometimes. And Although, anyway, outline of a state, like we actually have lines on our state that say, here's the border. But you know what I mean. You know what I mean? Like Florida, I was imagining like the peninsula being lit up around the outside. Anyway, the more we all light up, the more it's going to be like that, where it'll just intensify and be so bright and so beautiful. And that is what we need. People want healing. People want answers. People want to know there's something beyond this physical world, and we have tapped into that. We've been tapped into that. We have this information that maybe people would have said was weird back in the day, but it's not weird. It makes perfect sense. So walk forward in it confidently, because that's my theory. I think this is the golden era. I think NFs who felt weird and alienated and like underdogs their whole life, I think finally they're going to have a time to shine collectively and feel like, wow, hey, people like me. I'm actually, I have a gift and I can use it for good. Just like I think NTs, with the way technology is going, this is almost going to be sort of like a golden era for them in a different way, I think, in helping to traverse the technology. Hopefully the NFs and the NTs in the technological space can work together to mitigate any like ethical concerns with AI and stuff, and that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day. And of course, STs and SFs who have helped really ground this physical world, I think they'll help continue to support us and move forward as we hopefully can make a better place for future generations. But that's my little Miss America pageant speech. Not really, I've never done a Miss America pageant. But when they say, oh, world peace, that would be my little 12-minute monologue about it. And they'd go, what? And I'd have to go into Myers-Briggs. And anyway. So, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. I'm excited for content to come. If you gave me a suggestion for someone to collaborate with, I plan on reaching out to them this week. So we'll see who's game to do a little YouTube collaboration. So don't be surprised if you see me with somebody that you love watching as well and seeing us together, which I love. I love that. I love when you see people that you watch separately in the same space. It just like blows your mind for some reason. And I am offering one-on-one coaching. I call it life coaching, but really it could be like a personality typology coaching if you need to find your way and find yourself. I have ways we can do that to know thyself. I have so many modalities because it's taken me a lifetime to figure out who I am. So let me help you. Or just someone with an empathetic ear, I'm here for you. Reach out to me, RebeccaPebble@yahoo.com, or go to my website, RebeccaPebble.com, and I have the life coaching tab there, along with my books and my I have music on there on YouTube as well, and you can watch some of my acting stuff. That's fun. So don't forget to go there. And if you like the video, please click the like button. I appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed and would like to subscribe, don't forget to do that as well. And I'll see you guys next time. All right, bye.